Well, hello Internet, and welcome to my tutorial. Today I'm going to answer a question I get constantly, which is how I learn everything. What this tutorial is going to be is both an Anki tutorial, which I will talk about what that means in a little bit here. I'm also going to show you a whole bunch of learning tricks I use. I'm going to give numerous examples on how you would learn things like Japanese, diagrams, algorithms, etc., and numerous other different things. And I have a lot to do, so let's get into it. Okay, the very first thing I'm going to do is show you how to install Anki, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to ankiweb.net, and you're going to have to sign up for an account. And Anki is basically a free flashcard slash space repetition software that's going to run on every OS as well as all mobile devices, and it's 100% free on Android. There is an app that costs like $20 on Apple iOS, iPhones, but you don't need to use that. You can just use the browser if you don't want to spend that money and get exactly the same experience. But what you're going to need to do is sign up for an account, because you're going to be able to store all types of information here for free. And this is exactly the same on Windows as well as Macintosh and everything else. And I'm just going to go and throw an email address in here that I don't use and go and create a password. And it can be whatever you want it to be. And click on sign up. And it's going to show you all this stuff right here. That's all perfectly fine. And I'm going to go, I have read all that, and click on it and continue. And I'm going to show you how to use Anki to do numerous different things. Now what I need to do is go and confirm my email address. Okay, so I have my account verified, and I can just go into my account. And now what I want to do is go and download the software to my desktop that I will use to go and enter all of the information I'm going to be working with. And to get that, I'm going to go to apps.ankiweb.net and click on download. And download, once again, you can see all the different versions that are available for you. And then I'm going to click on run. And it's going to pop up here. It's going to say, where do you want to put it? I always just put it in the default. I'm going to click on install. And I'm going to click on OK. And it's going to install everything for me. And like I said, you're going to do exactly the same. Doesn't matter what operating system you use, Windows or Macintosh. All right, complete. And I'm going to click on close, and I will be able to open it up in my little start bar. And you can see there it is right there. And I'm going to click on it. And now I'm going to be able to enter all kinds of information. It's going to say, what language do I want to use? I'm going to use English. I'm going to say OK. And then it's going to open up for me. And it'll say, do I want to display it in English? I'm going to say yes. And you can see here it is with the small interface that we have. And I can blow it up, and it is absolutely huge. So basically, what Anki is I said it's a free flashcard slash space repetition software. What it does is it uses something called active recall, which repeatedly forces you to recall information. And this has been scientifically studied and is considered widely to be the best way to learn just about anything. But Anki isn't just a portable flashcard system. What Anki does for you is it's going to guess when you are just about at the moment of forgetting information that you're trying to learn. And at that precise moment, weeks or months later, right when you're starting to forget, it's going to force you to recall that information again, which is going to constantly allow you to remember an insane amount of information for a very long period of time. So, for example, I learned Japanese. I learned 2,000 characters in just over 2 months using this software that you see right here. And I went and lowered my resolution so you can be able to see this a little bit better. And now that we have an account, what we're going to do is we're just going to click on sync over here. And you're going to type in whatever the account information is that you just set up. And then we're going to click on OK. Okay, so now that we're logged in, what we can do is we're going to be able to come in here and add information. So this is what we're going to be doing is basically creating a new deck or a note. So I'm going to click on add, and you're going to see here there's a bunch of different options in regards to how we can store information inside of our deck or note. So here's basic, we'll do choose, and what that is simply the front of the card and then the back of the card. You're going to be able to change all these other different things. And then you have the clues option, which is very useful. We can use this to be able to print multiple things on the screen all at once, which is really cool. I'm going to show you numerous examples of all this, but let's just keep it simple. We'll do this basic, and then let's say that we wanted to remember president names based off of what the last name is. All right, so if we know it's Lincoln, then we are going to say that we want to remember Abraham, and you can just click on add here. What this allows you to do is to style your text, so you can make it bold, italic, underline. You can use superscript, subscript. This is going to remove all formatting on anything you have highlighted. This is going to change the text color. This also changes the text color. This right here is going to work with clues. I'll show you that in a minute. This allows you to import all types of different images and sound files and video and everything. And this one allows you to record audio, and then you can click on this guy right here, which is going to allow you to get into doing like equations, real fancy equations with LaTeX, or editing the HTML. If you don't know what LaTeX is, don't worry about it. But what we're going to do is we're just going to simply start putting some information in our database. So we have Lincoln and Abraham, so we'll click on add, and then we'll have another one that's Washington, and we'll say George. Okay, and add once again. Your decks up here are going to, you're going to be able to change them or add additional ones, and we're going to leave it as a default here in a minute. Okay, so after you've added all those in, you're going to be able to click on close, and then you're going to be able to just click on this and study now. You can see the number of new items, number of things you are currently actively learning, and you're going to click on study. So it's going to show Lincoln right here, and you are going to say show answer, and it's going to show Abraham. So it shows you the front of the card and the back of the card. I'm going to show you how to change the cards if you'd like. Now, if you look down here, you're going to define when you're going to see this card again. So if you don't have any idea what it is, so if you see Lincoln, you have no idea what the first name is, then you're going to say that you want to review this again in less than 1 minute. If you're, maybe it took you a minute to remember that Lincoln's first name was Abraham, then you're going to click on good. And if you got it immediately, you're going to click on easy, so that you're not going to see it again for an additional 4 days. That sounds like really, really simple stuff, and it is, but it also really works, which is only something you can really experience by trying it. And basically, this is the whole point of active recall. Basically the way active recall works is when you're presented with new information, your brain is basically programmed to forget it. And it just works the same as cutting your lawn or something like that with a lawnmower. You go out, you cut the grass, and the grass grows back, of course. However, if we create paths in our brain, remembering in multiple different ways, like I'm going to show you here very soon, our brain gets very good remembering that information and keeping it locked inside. And Anki basically makes predictions on when you're going to forget that information, brings it up again so that it locks in your brain permanently. So let's say that we know Lincoln and Abraham, so I'm going to click on easy, Washington, George, and I'm going to say show answer, okay, and easy. All right, so I finished with my deck for the day. I can go over here and click on sync, and it's going to go and sync. I want to say that I want to upload to Anki Web, and there we go. And you can see how I have everything uploaded. All right, and that's all going to be available on every device that I have that has Anki, and my account, obviously. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the different deck options you have here. So let's come over here. You can obviously change the name of your decks. You can export them, you can delete them, but I'm going to talk about options. Now, I'm not going to cover everything here, but I'm going to cover the things that are important. Now, you remember at the bottom of the screen, it said, do you want to review every 1 minute or 10 minutes? That's where you're going to change if you would like. You can define the order the cards are, how many new cards are presented per day. And then you also remember where it had easy interval, that was 4 days. You're going to be able to change that right here. Again, that was on the previous card that we saw. And the maximum number of reviews per day, 200. And what other things might you want? That's pretty much everything that you're going to need. I mean, I could go over all these different things, like leeches is a piece of information that Anki determines that you keep being able to learn, but then you forget over and over and over again. And what happens? You suspend the card. I'm not going to get into all the detail. All right, because I have a lot to cover. So let's keep covering some more information. All right, so let's come in here and let's add some more information. So I'm going to say add once again, and I'm going to do one of those clues that I talked about before. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go choose. And what's neat about this is I'm going to be able to say something like, what are the 3 lightest elements? And I'm going to be able to list them. So I'm going to go hydrogen and helium and lithium. All right, so we have all those selected. I'm going to go hydrogen, click on this, and helium, and click on that again, and lithium, and click on that again. All right, so I have that all defined. I'm going to click on add, and this is a ridiculously awesome way of being able, click on close, and then let's click on default again. All right, study now. This is a wonderful way to be able to study lists if you absolutely have to study lists. And it's also a great way, like if you were studying a programming algorithm and you wanted to learn one line by line, you could have each line be on separate spaces. If you're trying to learn languages and you want to learn individual pieces, you can do that as well. So basically, it's going to be presented like this. And whenever you click on show answer, it's going to show all three of the answers. And you're going to say, yeah, I got that easy. And then the next one's going to pop up and you're going to say, okay, it's helium. Okay, got it. And I'm going to click on easy again. And then the last one, and you're going to say show answer and lithium. All right, and that's easy also. And again, we finished our deck. All right, so awesome. And click on sync. Get in the habit of always clicking on sync because you can get yourself in trouble if you don't do that. Now, before giving you even more examples, I want to cover something a really smart doctor came up with. I'm going to cover some basic rules for formulating knowledge, and the doctor's name was Dr. Peter Wozniak. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. And basically, what I'm going to do here is, as you can see, we have a pretty complicated Japanese word right here. Now, you do not want to try to memorize things, for example, just to use Japanese as an example. What you want to do is, instead, is you want to focus on getting the basic understanding before trying to memorize things. Which means you want to keep things as simple as possible, as long as possible. So let's say I'm trying to learn this Japanese word we have here. Well, what I need to do, even before I even dare approach trying to memorize it, is I'm going to need to learn the different character sets for Japanese, which is hiragana and katakana. And I'm going to want to do things like create mnemonics. So for example, for this first character we have right here, and we have it right here, the way you would pronounce that is whoa. Now I would create a mnemonic trying to remember this hiragana character by doing something like, whoa, watch out when you step on the ice. And I think you can see here with the character you see on the screen that it looks kind of like a person is stepping on ice down here. And it's just a mnemonic, and it's a great way to really get knowledge to form into your head. You're also going to want to learn through closed deletion. So like I talked about previously with the example where I talked about the three lightest elements, I would, after I learn what all these individual characters are, I would then want to go and use something like closed deletion to learn one at a time while displaying them on the screen. It's a fantastic way to learn really complicated information. And of course, I would want to start small. So I'm going to want to learn the character for poem before I would even dare try to learn characters for here, for example, in Japanese. So once again, just keep everything as simple as possible, as long as possible. You're also going to want to break complex stuff down into its simplest form. Once again, here's an example. Instead of saying, for example, on one of your cards, what is calculus, and then having this long-winded thing, you're instead going to try to break it down to its simplest forms. So, for example, who developed calculus? And you can see an example of how that works right there. Likewise, you're going to want to assign images and sounds, if at all possible, to the information that you're trying to remember. And the main reason for that is that our verbal processing power is dramatically inferior to our visual as well as our auditory power. So use both whenever you can. Like I've said before, use mnemonics. You can see right here, here is another character that I'm trying to remember. And I know that this first symbol, whenever I would be trying to learn this first symbol here is for wheat, and this second symbol here is for mouth. Well, I'm going to create a mnemonic for it. For example, the first step to harmony is having enough wheat to feed every mouth in the world. And the word that I'm actually trying to remember here is harmony. So that is what this character represents. So you can see there an example of how I would look at this completely foreign series of characters and be able to find out that the actual character set is harmony. And also, whenever you're creating your mnemonics, you're going to want to use emotional topics in them that involve things like love, war, people you know, famous people, offensive topics, and so forth and so on. So just some importance in regards to how mnemonics should work. Again, graphic deletion works very close to closed deletion. However, you're going to use a picture with it. And why don't I go and show you an example of that? So we're going to come inside of here, and I'm going to have, let's go and just add some information inside of there. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use an add-on. So I think it's kind of cool that I'll show you also here how add-ons work. So there's numerous different add-ons for Anki, and to get them, you're going to go Tools, and you're going to go Add-ons, and Browse and Install. Now, chances are you're not going to know the code for the add-on that you want to install, so you're going to click on Browse. And that's going to open up a web browser for you, and it's going to show you a whole bunch of them. And I'm going to add a whole bunch of these different things here. So I'm going to, first I'm going to say that I want to find a add-on called Colorizer, which is going to do really cool things. Kanji, Colorizer, there it is. And what you're going to do is just scroll down here until you see a number, and there it is. So I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to go back into Anki. I'm going to paste that code inside of there and click on OK. And that is going to install that for me. And I'll show you here in a minute what exactly that looks like. And whenever it downloads, you're going to see that it downloaded successful. Restart Anki, click on OK. I'm going to install some other things though. Add-ons, I'm going to go Browse Install again, and I'm going to go Browse, and I'm going to look for another one. And this one is going to show a review heat map for, it's basically going to show you how often you're using Anki and if you're sticking to it. So I'm going to click on this guy, and you're going to see it's going to look like that. Pretty neat stuff. And I'm going to go until I find the little number that I want to copy and paste. Where is it? And there it is. And I'm going to highlight this, jump back into Anki, and paste it inside of there, and click on OK. And then that's going to install. And then I'm going to add one more that's going to allow us to use the clues in which actually stands for occlusion, but I'm going to show you that. So Browse Install and Browse again, and this one is going to be called Image Occlusion Enhanced. Awesome. And click on that, and see what it's going to allow you to do is take images and then blank out individual words and show them one by one. Extremely useful. All right, for learning numerous different topics. So there it is, and let's highlight that and paste that inside there. Make sure you get the whole entire number. All right, cool. And back inside of Anki and paste it and click on OK. And then after that installs, I'm going to restart Anki, and then we're going to do even more stuff. All right, so here we are, and I'm going to go and say add once again. And now you can see here it's going to allow us to put an image inside of there. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and go basic, and well, actually, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. This guy's going to change it a little bit for me. So add image occlusion. So I'm actually going to go get a picture. All right, so say we have a brain diagram inside of here that we want to use, and those all look fine. All right, so let's click on this, and there it is, and let's just copy it and copy, and back inside of Anki. Let's get rid of that. All right, so we can click on this guy right here, and you can see that it automatically took what was in my clipboard and put it here on my screen, which is awesome. Then what we're going to be able to do is hide things, so we can just cover that up and cover this up and cover all these other individual pieces up and use it just like we had previously. So there's that, and there's that. All right, and after we can also define hide all, reveal one, hide all, reveal all, hide one, reveal all, however you want to, work with it. So I'm going to say hide all, reveal one. That's what I want. 6 cards added, and then I can click on close, and I can click on close, and then I can come in and click on default and study now, and it's now going to show me my little brain that I have up inside of here. And I can say show answer, and you can see that it shows frontal lobe. I don't know if you can read that or not. And let's just say that's easy. This one's going to come next. You can see because the color's different. Show answer, parietal lobe, and that's easy. And show answer. And you can see all the other individual things. You can see how quickly we were able to add information also, which is super awesome. And we'll just go and shovel through there. And that is perfect. And click on Dex. And that's what I mean by graphic deletion. Another thing to remember is you need to try to avoid learning lists. You want to try to learn one thing at a time, and the information that you are learning, you want to try to learn it in exactly the same way. If you find that you must use lists, then use an alphabetical list, or better yet, use clues deletion like we have talked about previously. Works much, much better. Also, you want to try to avoid trying to learn data that is similar. You can see right here 5 different Chinese characters that or Japanese characters, whatever, that are very, very similar. You wouldn't want to try to learn these all at exactly the same time because you might get confused. So just another example. Something else that we have covered previously, you want to try to simplify your questions as well as your answers. So you can see right here this great big giant long-winded question. You want to try to shorten your questions to be as short as humanly possible. And also you want to try to find a happy medium between having mnemonics that are long enough but not too long. And then finally, reuse what you have already learned. So for example, where we had the wheat and the mouth, I already knew that this was wheat and this is mouth. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to reinforce what you've already learned. And it's something that you have to do a lot. But basically, after you use these different techniques, you're going to notice that your brain sort of feels good and your performance increases better if you basically reinforce what you've learned as much as humanly possible in the additional things that you are trying to learn. All right, so now I'm going to try to bring this all full circle. I'm going to come in and click on Add once again. I'm going to come in and create a custom type. So I'm going to go Manage, and I'm going to say that I want to add basic. I'm going to start with the basic type and see how that works out for me. Click on OK. And what I'm going to call this is Japanese deck. And click on OK. And there we got it. And then close. All right, and I have my Japanese deck right here. I'm going to say choose. And then I'm going to come in and change my different fields that I have inside of here. All right, so fields. And let's go and rename this first one into Word, and OK, and that's perfectly fine. Click on yes and rename, and let's change this to picture. I'm going to show you how to put pictures inside here. Very, very easy. Now I need to add additional fields. So kana and kanji and mnemonic, and I'm going to show you how to put a recording inside here, and then I'm going to show you how to use one of those add-ons I had by putting diagram inside of here. All right, so there I went and created all the different fields that I want to work with, and I'm going to close that. Now I'm not going to get into the specifics of where I'm getting all of this information, because unless you guys want that, it's, just ask me for it and I will do a tutorial on just how I'm getting all my Japanese information. But I'm going to have my word be stomach, just to use an example. I can go and, of course, get a picture. So let's say I want to go stomach. Of course, I'm using the wonderful Bing, which I normally do not use. We did not find, oh, whoops. Okay, sorry about that. Let's type in stomach. See what, I'm not used to using Bing. All right, so there's stomach. This is something you can definitely remember. If you want to copy an image, all you're going to do is just go copy, jump back into Anki, and here we are, and picture, and paste. Funny thing is, I just actually installed Chrome on my Windows part of my machine just to do this. All right, so I'm going to go stomach, and there it pops up, and click on images. Okay, so what's an image that I want to work with here? Let's say that this looks like something I can remember. I'm going to say copy image. Then I'm going to jump back into Anki and just paste. There it is. There's my image. You're going to be able to see that in my notes, which is going to be really neat. I'm going to go get my kana and paste that inside of there, and the kanji for stomach, and I'm going to paste this inside, and I'm paste that inside of there. And the neat thing is it's going to show up in the diagram down here at the bottom. See, there is the stroke order. There's special ways you're supposed to draw Japanese symbols if you'd like. Then you're going to open up Chrome again, and I'm going to go and get a pronunciation for how to say this stomach in Japanese. So I'm going to just click on this, and I'm going to download this information. You can click here. Like I said, if you would want me to go and show you specifically about how I've been studying Japanese, just leave a comment below, and I will cover it. And I'm going to say I accept that, and I'm going to download this. Oops, I need to log in here first. All right, I logged in, and I'm going to download it. And then I can say show in folder, and there it is. And I can drag that into recording, and it's automatically going to work. And then I can click on add. And I could also put a mnemonic, but for something as simple as stomach, it wouldn't really matter. So I'm going to click on add, and then I can click on, well, you know what? I'm going to create a custom card as well. I'll show you how to do that. So let's go and click on cards, and you're going to see here how these are all laid out. You're also going to see that I have the front side right here is going to display as long as I have HR ID equals the answer, and this is just a horizontal rule or a line that goes across the screen. And then I can define all of the information that is going to display on the screen. So let's get rid of that, and let's go and organize the screen so you can see everything all at one time. So, well, let's say that I want to display the word, and then afterwards I want to display, well, we have a picture here, but let's say I want to have the kana and kanji show up. What I'm going to do is just go and put those brackets in, those curly brackets like that, and I'm going to type in kana like this, and then I can put kanji inside of there like that, and the mnemonic, and let's just go recording and close that off, and then we'll have the diagram actually show up after the picture. Okay, so there I went and actually created that deck. I could also come in and style this with HTML. You can also see the CSS that we have right here that is showing the default styling for our cards and all that, but let's just go and do close like this, and then let's go and close this guy as well, and we're going to see our default, and we can click on study now, and you're going to see that stomach is right here, and I can go show answer, and it's a little bit sloppy. Let's go and throw some breaks inside of there. So let's actually go back to decks, and let's go add, and let's jump into cards, and I will throw in some break statements. So I can just come in, break, and let's do copy and paste all of those inside of there. That's better. Close and default and study now, and you're going to see stomachs there and show answer, and you're going to see all of the additional information just displayed right there. Whoops, I actually noticed that the recording didn't go in the note, but that's perfectly fine because I can show you how to actually come in and correct things. You're going to click on Browse, and then you're going to find what you are working with. So I'm going to click on Japanese, and it shows me all of my different fields that I have down inside of here. And then I have recording, and then we're just going to come over here, and we're going to go find our recording, which is, was it in my download? Yeah, there it is. Downloads folder, there it is. And click on open, and now everything is perfectly fine, and you can see it went E whenever that ran like that, and so everything should work. And we can close that out, click on study now, there's stomach and show answer, and you can see the E also played inside of there. So cool stuff, and you could also come over here and replay audio, and there it is. All right, so there you go, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and like always, please leave your questions and comments below. Otherwise, till next time.